Okay, great. We will move on with the meeting. The next section is communication. We have no speakers tonight, so that will take us to superintendent's recommendations and report.
Thank you, Mr. Begley. At this time, I will turn it over to Mrs. Howard so she can cover the items listed under personnel, professional, and personnel support.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Mr. Begley, members of the board, I have several items for your consideration this evening under personnel professional. Number 1, resignations, letters A and B, and number 2, employment, letters A and B. And that concludes all the items I have for your consideration under personnel professional.
Thank you, Mrs. Howard. I'll entertain a motion to accept the recommendations.
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Clark, Ms. Birding, Mrs. Lane, call the roll.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Ms. Birding?
Yes.
Mr. Begley?
Yes.
Mrs. Shorter?
Yes.
Mrs. Gundrum?
Yes.
Mr. Begley and members of the board, I have several items for your consideration this evening under personnel support. Number 1, resignations, letters A and B. Number 2, unpaid leave of absence, letter A. And number 3, employment, letters A through E. And that concludes all the items I have for your consideration under personnel support.
Thank you, Mrs. Howard. I'll entertain a motion to accept these recommendations.
So moved. Second?
Mrs. Gundrum, Mrs. Shorter, Mrs. Lane, call the roll.
Mrs. Gundrum?
Yes.
Mrs. Shorter?
Yes.
Mr. Begley?
Yes.
Ms. Birding?
Yes.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.